Alright, the next part of the gear video. This is everything after the basic three and plus food and water. I'll start out with cold weather gear. We have right down here is sleep clothes. I'm using Under Armour mid-weight base layer with the heavy-duty smart wool socks. The Under Armour is going to give me also an option that I can use it during the day if it got really cold. Now I will say that this is a little overboard in terms of clothing, partly because I think I've mentioned before my sister went through an attempt on the AT in 13, and she it was horrible. It was, I think, the coldest year in a long time. Someone actually died of hypothermia at one of the shelters in the Smokies. So I'm a little leery of the cold weather stuff. So this is this covers me for that. Then we have puffy jacket. That is Eddie Bauer 800 fill. Not bad in terms of weight. A lot of my outerwear is Eddie Bauer. I found that it's really good value. It's not the absolute best, but great value, good quality stuff. Along with my puffy is a shemagh. It's cotton, and I wish I could find one that was wool, but so far I don't think they make them. This is great because it's I've used it for several things. I use it for a scarf during the day, and I use it on my head and to cover my eyes when I sleep, so that makes sleeping a little easier, and a few other odds and ends as necessary. Next, the Eddie Bauer fleece. It's a lightweight, I think it's a 100 weight, and it's a nice nice layer to add to the puffy jacket if it gets really cold. That's helped a great deal. And then right here, I've got two pair of gloves here. There's a North Face liner set and also the possum down gloves. I think for at least the first couple of weeks, I'm also going to carry some mittens, and my hands get pretty cold, and that will help a great deal, I think. So the mittens probably will get thrown in there. Then I have a little synthetic beanie and sort of a buff kind of thing. Together they are real warm, real handy. So that's will be headgear. Then the almost official underwear of the AT, the ex officio boxer briefs. I've also got a second pair that I probably will carry two pair, just so it's a little easier to deal with. Then comfort stuff for camp. Got some camp shoes. These are about the lightest I could find. Similar to Crocs, but a fair amount lighter. I think these saved me about 4 ounces over Crocs. So I tried to go without camp shoes for my first 2 weeks, and I found out that they really come in handy. So we'll be going with that. Then headlamp. This is the Black Diamond Cosmo and extra set of batteries. It's about probably, it's not the absolute lightest one, but I just really like this headlamp. It is, top is I think 200 lumens, and supposedly they say that you can get 45 hours out of the highest light output, and I haven't seen anything that makes me believe otherwise. It's really handy, lots of different light settings. You've got a flood setting, you've got a spot setting, and you've also got red in there. Real handy. I've really liked that one quite a bit, and it's just For a black diamond, it's dirt cheap. It's about 30 bucks. You can get cheaper ones, but this one is seems to be about the best I could find. And this is a little probably unnecessary. It is basically a wash kit. One of the things that it seems, from my experience on the trail, it seems like some people think this is a contest about who can smell the worst. And especially for my feet, I really like, at the end of the day, at least keeping my feet clean. That really seems to help in terms of foot health. I can tend to get athlete's foot pretty easily, so this helps quite a bit. I'll be using that, at least starting out with it. We'll see how it works out. Real cold weather, I have a tendency not to do that too much, but as soon as it starts to get even a little bit warm, I like to have some sort of, at least keep my feet clean and a quick wipe down of my whole body, so that's good. Now, rain gear. Again, we go to Eddie Bauer. This is the Eddie Bauer Cloud Cap Rain Jacket. There we go. This really is very comparable to the Helium HD or the Marmot Precip. The HD is, I think, 9 ounces and almost 200 bucks. The Precip is about 11 ounces and about 120 or 130. The Cloud Cap you can get on sale for about 60 bucks, and it comes in at about 10 ounces. I had it through just a driving rainstorm on the top of Sassafras Mountain, and it was fine. Kept me about as dry as anything's going to keep me. It's a great wind jacket as well. So as much as I hate the term shout out to Eddie Bauer for that one. Really, really good deal. For rain and wind pants, at least to start out for a couple of weeks, I've got some Frog Togs Dry Duck pants. Primarily because I expect there's a good chance it could be pretty cold, and I'd use these for my wind pants. Once it starts to warm up, we'll take those out, and what we'll use in its place is this. What I've got is some rain chaps that I made, and that is actually a polycro rain kilt. I might make a little better one, but that weighs almost nothing. And together they keep you super dry, and that cuts about half the weight off from the dry ducks. Then this is a multi-use thing. This is a rain parka that I made, and it's I use it not only for a rain parka, it's also a pack cover. And I also use it as my vapor barrier in the sleeping bag. So I use it for several different things. Comes in real handy. Seems to keep moisture out of my sleeping quilt when it's real cold. I only use it when it's below 30. So we'll see how that goes. Remember, any of this stuff is possibility of changing, and probably will change, but this is what seems to work for me so far. Now, clothes. All right, clothes. We've got, I carry 2 tops. It's, I really like swapping clothes every day. Now, it does add a little bit of weight, but these tops are pretty light, so, and this is the main thing that I swap out besides my socks. Merino wool mock quarter zip. Love merino wool. It's fairly cool in warm weather, warm and cool weather, so those are handy. Next is an officio, ex officio long sleeve shirt. It is this, along with my ex officio pants, convertible pants, are both insect shield. Probably my only thing I worry about on the trail is tick-borne illness. I know people who've been taken off the trail with it, and so this takes care of it. Most of my outer clothing is saturated with permethrin, so almost everything except my liner socks and my underwear, I think. So that should take care of that. Next, the ex officio pants. And about the lightest belt I could carry. Convertible pants, usual stuff. Everybody's pretty familiar with that. At first, I'm going to carry a set of tights. We'll see. I thought, well, maybe hiking in tights is a little bit easier to deal with. We'll try it out. Probably, I'm planning on a possibility of sending some stuff back after about a week. And we'll look at that in a second. Then socks. I carry 2 sets of socks. I swap every day. These are heavyweight merino wool socks, hiking socks from Cabela's. They found them on sale for, I think they were $7 or $8 a pair, so I got like 6 pair of them. They're very comfortable. So I love these things. I'll use these at least until it gets a little bit warmer. And I always wear liner socks. Again, merino wool liners. I think because I've been using liners, I don't get blisters. Knock on wood. And we'll go with that. Maybe after my feet toughen up a little bit, I could probably switch to just a single layer of socks. But for the foreseeable future, we'll go with that. Carry 2 sets. I change them out every day as long as the weather's dry. I've got a little thing. I clip socks and stuff to the back of my backpack. That allows them to dry out as much as possible. So I can usually swap to dry socks every morning. Now, what can help keep that stuff dry is this. These are waterproof socks. I've had Gore-Tex socks for probably 20-25 years, and they really come in handy at times. And because I've swapped out from boots to trail runners, these are real nice in cold or extra wet weather. These, I can't remember what the brand is, but they weren't too expensive. I went a little bit cheap on those, but I think they were about $30 for the pair. Worth every penny of it. Keeps your feet not particularly dry, but keeps them from getting that real cold water from some of the puddles. Excuse me. Then calf compression sleeves, usual stuff. And to go along with that, not a muscle roller, but it's basically a 1-inch wooden dowel. I polished it up pretty good as long as you've got some sort of clothes on. This functions the same way as a muscle roller, but it's about 1/3 the weight. I think this lightest muscle roller I could find is about 6 ounces. This is about 2. Kind of a good idea. So if you want to carry a muscle roller, this will take care of it at very low weight. Then hat, my Boundary Waters canoe area, very beat up baseball hat. But it's more just because it's mine, just because I love Boundary Waters, so I'm taking that with me. I do have a balaclava. Whether I take it or not will depend on what the weather report looks like. And again, because of the depending on weather report, I've got a set of micro spikes. These are just super light. I think these are only about 4.5 ounces, and stretchy things. And they're better than the Yak Tracks. I've got a set of Yak Tracks, and these seem to be better. They hold up better. They grip better. So we'll see how that works out. And of course, shoes. Like a lot of people, I've switched to the Ultras. These are the Lone Peak 3s. This and the insoles seem to have taken care of some foot problems that I had. I have very wide, very high arches, and these insoles and these shoes are just fabulous. After the first week of hiking, most of my real foot pain stopped. You know, you're always going to get a little bit of ache, but this has just been fabulous. So I love these things. And to go along with them, Dirty Girl Gaiters. I've been hiking in mostly wet weather so far, and so I didn't feel like I need them, but I will be taking them with me because as soon as it warms up and gets dry, you'll get dust and all kinds of other stuff. Then, trekking poles. A lot of people are now switching. I saw a lot less people with trekking poles, but I like them. I really use them mostly for downhill. They really save my knees. These are Black Diamond, let me see, carbon distance FZL poles. I think that's what they are. They're fold up, you know, so they fit in my side pocket of my pack pretty easily. Real nice stuff. And they also adjust. I found that having the adjustment for the tent, because these are also my tent poles, I really like that adjustment feature. So we'll be using those. Now some storage bags. This is the stuff sack I got with my duplex tent because I use a dry bag for the tent. I use this to carry my cook set in. Real handy, weighs nothing. Z-Packs multi-pack. It's always easier if I've got something to carry food and camera gear in up front. So that's real handy. So we'll be using that this time. Then dry bags for inside my pack. This is the Z-Packs Medium Plus, and I use this for clothing. This is the Z-Packs, excuse me, Z-Packs bear hang bag that I found that I like a bigger bag. So I use this now effectively as a brain for my ruck, and I use stuff that I want to get to pretty quickly, clothes that I change out, and makes it a little easier to swap out clothes and sort of de-layer. And so I'll be using that. Alright, on to electronics. I stink at the whole video thing, so this is probably too much stuff, but we're going to go with this anyway. First off is Garmin Fenix 2. I like it for several reasons. It's got an altimeter, a barometric altimeter on it, so it's relatively accurate. Helps you avoid false summits. I also have a temperature sensor on my backpack this connects to, so I get a nice accurate temperature reading. And it will track my GPS track that I can upload to the internet, and people can follow me and follow my track. So that, I think, will be kind of fun. Then the GoPro, was it Hero Black Session? I don't like it as much as I thought I was going to. The primary thing that I'm going to use it for is wet weather. The other stuff that I use I prefer, but this will come in handy if it's pouring rain and I can still get video. A couple of chargers. Having multiple chargers is handy because my battery pack charges much faster if I use two chargers together. Then, phone. I'm using a Droid Turbo, the original edition. Still kicking butt. It's a 21 megapixel camera. So I really like the phone in general. The one thing I don't like about it is this early edition doesn't take an SD card. So I have to upload from this to another SD through a little adapter I've got. Then battery. I had a 20,000 milliamp hour, and just because I don't spend a lot of time in towns, it wasn't quite enough, so I went to, I think this is just under 30 milliamp hour. Seems to work just fine so far, and we'll see when I get back on the trail. This is a strap mount For my camera, I found that that's much better than trying to hold it, much better than a stick pick or something like this. Using this, I can video, still use both my trekking poles. I've fallen a couple of times, so I like having both trekking poles. So we'll see how that works out. Cables, I've got I think 3 cables. This one's the standard phone charger cable, micro USB. This is for my my Garmin watch. This one adapts so you can use it to charge either the GoPro or micro USB, so that comes in handy. This is my primary camera. It is a Lumix ZS70. It's a couple of ounces heavier than the one I was originally looking at, but this has just an enormous amount of capability. And in fact, I'm probably completely ignorant of all of what it can do. So I've got a little bit of learning to do on this one. So far, I'm not crazy about the video it takes, at least not inside. On the trail, it's fine. Inside, it's a little bit less good. I've got a couple of extra batteries for it. With those extra batteries, I can video pretty much for weeks with the 3 batteries. An adapter, excuse me, tripod adapter for my phone if I want to use that. It's very light, so I'm going to take it with me. This is an adapter so I can transfer files back and forth between my phone and other items. MP3 player. We'll see if I use it. So far I haven't used it, so I may end up sending it back, or I may end up just not taking it, but we'll see. I've got some audiobooks on it that I might listen to. And this is an Ultrapod. I like it a lot. It's nice because I can strap it to my trekking pole. I used to have some camera mounts that I put right on my trekking poles, but this seems a little bit better. Strap it to my trekking pole, and I can use it on my trekking pole, or I can use it as a little tripod. I'll probably drill it out a little bit, save just a tiny bit of weight on it. So we'll see how that goes. Then back to here. This is toiletries and stuff like that. I have an REI container that I use for hand sanitizer, my whistle, bug spray. I have picaridin and DEET. Again, I'm most concerned about tick-borne stuff, so we'll go with that. Mini Bic lighter. My knife, probably a little silly, but I'm so used to carrying one in Boundary Waters, I decided to go for this. It's just a little skeleton knife. Weighs, I think, an ounce, ounce and a half. This is a light load towel. I got it from Z-Packs. It's a solid thing. Once you put water on it, it opens up. I'm going to try that for drying off condensation in the tent. Haven't been able to find a sham wow yet, so that would be kind of fun. So we'll try this. Aquamira. I carry a little dropper bottle. I mix 2 to 4 liters treatment at the beginning of the day. This is what I use during the day. At camp in the morning or at the evening, I'll use my filter. But during the day, as long as the water coming out seems clean, I'll use the Aquamira for it. And that makes it a little easier to stay hydrated and do it quickly. It's for first aid and repair. I carry a roll of the Cuban fiber repair tape. Pretty much good for almost anything. My toothbrushing, floss, repair, etc. Cut off toothbrush and toothpaste. This is a repair kit for both my Exped pad and glass for my glasses. I'm going in for cataract surgery, so I may not need glasses. when I get on the trail. We'll see how that turns out. Then first aid kit. I don't need much. I don't get too many blisters. A couple of Band-Aids, a tick remover, a squeezed pack of triple antibiotic. I carry one emergency and a few other odds and ends, but that's most of it. And then I carry a pack of supplements, and that's about it. Then I'd forgotten to put a windscreen for my stove, so that's what that's going to be. So that's it. That's all the gear. This is what I'll be taking to start out on right around March 1st. What I've been hiking with 6 days of food and 1 liter of water, has amounted to about 30 pounds. Now, with the addition of a couple of items for the cold weather, I would anticipate I'm going to be upwards right around 35 pounds. Now that'll drop back to probably back to 30 within several weeks, maybe a month at tops. And once it starts warming up, I should be able to drop things down to about 25 pounds or so. So we'll see how this works out. I am thrilled at the idea of getting back on the trail, and really looking forward to it. So stick around and see how it goes, and I will talk to you all real soon. Hawk out.